Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive on something that sounds a little crazy at first, AI hallucinations in science.
Yeah, it does sound a little weird, right?
You've got AI, known for, making things up.
Right.
And it's actually helping scientists make some pretty big discoveries.
Huge discoveries,
We're
actually.
talking about new antibiotics, new medical devices.
Even a Nobel Prize connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this isn't just about tech, it's really about how this tech is uh, speeding up scientific discovery.
Yeah,
And it could actually end up impacting all of our lives.
absolutely. I mean, this is going to impact your life in the future for sure.
Okay, so let's just dive right in.
Okay.
What's the deal with these AI hallucinations in science?
Okay, well, first of all, they're totally different from what you see with chatbots.
Okay.
You know, when they just spit out random stuff they found on the internet.
Right.
With science, these hallucinations are based on real scientific data,
Okay.
like massive data sets,
Huh.
packed with information about the real world.
So it's not just like the AI is just kind of like going rogue.
Right. No, it's not going right.
There's like a method to this.
Absolutely. The AI is exploring tons of possibilities, but it's using the data it's been trained on.
Mm.
So it's not random.
Okay.
Like imagine you give an artist, 1,000 different colors of paint,
Mm-hmm.
and you tell them to create something new.
Right.
The possibilities are almost endless,
Yeah.
right? And some of those combinations, some of those new creations might be truly groundbreaking.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what's happening with AI. It's exploring new combinations and like pushing the limits of what we thought was possible.
Okay, but what about this word hallucination?
Yeah.
It feels, I don't know, it feels a little strange.
It is. There's a lot of debate about it.
Yeah.
Some scientists prefer terms like probability distributions
Okay.
or imaginative creations
Okay.
because, hallucination makes it sound like the AI is just making stuff up.
Randomly.
Yeah, randomly, and that's not what's happening.
Okay, so is it more like the AI is presenting like a range of possibilities?
Yes.
And each one has like a probability of being right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And sometimes those possibilities that initially seem unlikely, those are the ones that turn out to be really valuable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to some real world examples because I think that's where it gets really wild.
Okay.
So we've got Dr. David Baker, recent Nobel Prize winner in chemistry,
Huge deal.
using AI to design brand new proteins,
Brand new.
like the building blocks of life.
That's right. And we're not just talking about tweaking existing proteins.
Okay.
He's creating them from scratch.
Wow.
Like stuff never seen in nature before.
Okay, so how does that even work?
Well, his lab has designed millions of these proteins.
Millions.
Millions. It's crazy.
Wow.
And they've already gotten over 100 patents from this, many of them related to new medical treatments.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's like AI is helping us unlock this like secret library of molecules that could have like insane applications.
Okay, so millions of proteins. How did people react to this?
Well, like with any new thing, there were people who were skeptical.
Right.
They questioned if AI could really do this.
Mm.
But Dr. Baker, he was inspired by Google's Deep Dream project.
Oh, right. Those trippy pictures.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
AI-generated images. He saw how AI could be used to design proteins, too.
Oh, okay.
Push the boundaries in a similar way.
So instead of generating like weird cat pictures, it's generating like protein structures.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And just like with those pictures, some of these protein structures were really unusual.
Right.
But some of them, get this, resembled real functional proteins.
Oh, wow.
Proteins that could change medicine as we know it.
Okay, so you have these AI designed proteins, but they're digital.
Right.
How do they like bring them into the real world?
That's where it gets even more amazing. They use these digital models as blueprints
Okay.
to actually synthesize the proteins in the lab. They basically took those AI imaginative creations and made them real.
Okay, so they created actual physical proteins
Yeah.
based on the AI designs.
That's right.
And they worked.
They worked. They created over 100 of them, like proteins that had never existed before.
Wow.
And one of them, for example, showed potential in fighting antibiotic-resistant bacteria,
Oh, wow.
which is a huge problem.
Yeah.
So it's incredible how AI is blurring the line between the digital and physical,
Yeah.
and it could lead to life-saving treatments.
This is amazing. Like the AI isn't just looking at data, it's actually making something new.
I know.
It's crazy.
Mind-blowing, right?
Yeah, and this could impact like our lives.
Absolutely. And it's not just about treating diseases.
Hmm.
Imagine AI designing proteins to harvest sunlight for energy,
Okay, yeah.
or proteins that clean up the environment, the possibilities are, like, unlimited.
This is incredible.
I know, right? It's a really exciting time to be working in this field.
Yeah. So let's talk about another example. Dr. Anima Anandkumar and her team at Caltech.
Okay.
They're using AI to tackle bacterial contamination in medical devices.
Yes, a huge problem.
Yeah.
Hospital-acquired infections are a serious issue.
So how do they use AI for this?
Well, they focused on designing a new type of catheter
Okay.
because those are often the source of infection.
Right.
They trained an AI model on existing catheter designs.
Okay.
So it learned, how they work.
Right.
And then they let the AI go wild, generating thousands of potential new designs.
Okay, so it's like they gave the AI the building blocks
Yeah, kind of.
and then said, like, go crazy.
Right.
But how do they, like, steer the AI towards making something useful?
That's where the hallucination part comes in again.
Okay.
It's not just copying old designs.
Right.
It's using the data, but also pushing beyond what humans have already come up with.
Okay, so did the AI come up with anything good?
Yeah, it did. The AI design had this unique sawtooth-like pattern on the inside of the catheter.
Oh, yeah.
So these tiny spikes actually prevent bacteria from getting a foothold.
Mm.
It's a design that a human engineer probably wouldn't have thought of.
So it's like the AI looked at the problem from a different angle
Yes.
and came up with this, like, elegant solution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the best part is this technology is now being considered for commercial use.
Wow.
Yeah, so it could actually impact healthcare on a big scale.
That's incredible. So we've got AI designing new proteins.
Yeah.
We've got AI designing new medical devices.
Yep.
It seems like these hallucinations are, like, really pushing the boundaries of science.
They really are, and at an incredible speed, too.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time to be following these developments.
And it's interesting because some scientists have been worried about a slowdown in new scientific discoveries.
Yeah, that's true. There's been this concern about scientific stagnation.
Right.
But AI hallucinations, they could be the answer to that. Yeah, because they can drive these new discoveries at a speed we've never seen before.
Mm.
Like Dr. Baker, he's super optimistic about the future of this technology.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he thinks AI could design proteins to do all sorts of things.
Like what?
Like harvest sunlight for energy,
Okay.
create sustainable factories.
Wow.
Even help us fight climate change.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and all of that could lead to a healthier and more sustainable world for all of us.
It sounds like we're on the verge of this, like, new era in scientific discovery.
We are, and AI is at the heart of it.
So what's one of the most fascinating things about this?
Let me think.
Ah,
You know what I find really interesting? It's this story about DeepMind's AI beating the world champion at Go.
oh, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Remember that mistake move it made?
Vaguely. What was it?
Move 37. It seemed like a blunder at the time.
Okay.
But it turned out to be this, like, genius move.
Oh, wow.
Move that a human player would never even consider. And that's what AI can do. It can come up with solutions that are completely outside of our human way of thinking,
Okay.
leading to these unexpected breakthroughs.
That's pretty amazing.
It really is. It makes you wonder what else AI can help us discover if we're open to these unexpected possibilities.
So these AI hallucinations, when they're based on real data,
Right?
they're not just glitches.
Right.
They're actually powerful tools for making new discoveries.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So if AI can do all of this already, what's next?
That's a great question, and we're going to dive into that more after a quick break.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
All right.
Welcome back to our deep dive on AI hallucinations in science. So before the break, we were talking about the potential for AI to go off the rails, but also about how incredible it could be when humans are guiding it.
Right.
It's like this powerful engine, and we're just figuring out how to steer it.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. And speaking of steering, it's interesting to think about how AI hallucinations are not just solving old mysteries, they're helping us discover new ones.
Okay.
I mean, think about how much we still don't know about the universe.
Right.
From the human brain to tiny particles, there's so much out there to explore.
So instead of replacing scientists, AI is actually giving them more to do.
Exactly. It's like
Yeah.
AI is pointing us towards the most interesting areas to investigate, like a scout.
Okay, so it's analyzing data, finding things that humans might miss.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it really is. And, this brings us to another interesting point, the potential for AI to actually democratize science.
Democratize science. What does that even mean? Like anyone can be a scientist.
In a way, yes. because traditionally science has been very exclusive.
Right.
You need specialized knowledge, expensive equipment, access to data.
It's a lot.
It is.
Uh.
But AI could change that.
So you're saying someone who's just curious and maybe knows a little bit about AI could help with real research?
That's the idea. Think about online platforms where people can collaborate with AI tools, analyze data, test things out.
So it's not just scientists in labs anymore?
Not necessarily. It could open up the world of science to, like, everyone.
That's a pretty big shift.
It is. And it goes back to that collaboration idea. It's not about replacing scientists. It's about giving everyone these powerful tools.
So it's more like everyone becomes a scientist.
In a way, yeah. And I think that's why these AI hallucinations are so fascinating. It's not just about the discoveries themselves. It's about how we do science, you know?
Yeah.
We're learning to expect the unexpected, challenge what we think we know, and work with machines to, like, unlock these secrets.
You know, it's almost like we're learning from nature.
Oh, how so?
Well, think about how nature has spent like billions of years coming up with these incredible designs,
Right?
a bird's wing or how a single cell works. It's also complex. And now with AI, it's like we're asking machines to learn from that.
Yeah. Like, to come up with their own solutions based on what nature has already done.
Yeah, exactly.
You're talking about biomimicry, and AI is taking it to a whole new level. We're not just copying what we see. We're using AI to understand the principles behind it.
The algorithms of nature.
Exactly. And with AI, we can explore so many possibilities, new materials, new energy sources, solutions to, like, all kinds of problems.
So we could end up with things that are not just functional, but also like sustainable and in harmony with nature.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
It's not just mimicking, it's understanding.
Okay, this is all super exciting, but I have to ask, with AI getting so good at coming up with new ideas, are human scientists like going to be out of a job?
That's a question a lot of people have, and it's understandable.
Right.
But I think we need to remember that AI, at least for now, is still a tool,
Okay.
a very powerful tool,
Yeah.
but still a tool. And humans decide how to use it.
So you're saying it's not about AI replacing us, but helping us, like making us better.
Exactly. I see AI as a collaborator, not a competitor. It can do the heavy lifting, the data crunching, and then humans can focus on the bigger picture, the creative stuff.
It's like those sci-fi movies where humans and AI work together to solve problems, except it's actually happening now.
Yeah, it's already happening in research labs, like drug discovery, for example. AI can help find potential new drugs, but human scientists are still the ones making the big decisions.
That makes sense. So it's like AI handles the routine stuff and humans can focus on like the big strategic thinking.
Exactly.
But even if we like this collaborative idea, there are still some challenges.
Well, there are always challenges with new technologies.
Like what?
Well, we talked about misuse, but there's also the question of responsibility, making sure these AI hallucinations are used ethically. And a big part of that is the data that's used to train these models.
Right, the data. What are some concerns there?
Well, one of the biggest is bias.
Bias.
Yeah, because AI learns from the data it's given. If that data is incomplete or skewed in some way, it can lead to biased outcomes.
So, like, if the AI is only trained on data from one group of people, it might not work as well for others.
Exactly. And that's a huge concern, especially in healthcare. We need to make sure these AI systems are trained on diverse data so everyone benefits.
That makes sense. What else?
Well, data security is also a big issue.
Right.
These models use tons of data, and we need to make sure that data is protected.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's about trust and transparency.
Absolutely. It's about building trust in these systems, and that comes from transparency, being accountable for how data is used, and having good data management practices.
Okay, so it's a multifaceted problem.
Definitely. It's complex, but it's something we have to figure out if we want AI to really benefit humanity.
This is a lot to think about, but before we move on, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about AI making science accessible to more people.
Oh yeah, I think that's one of the most exciting things about all of this.
Me too. So paint me a picture. What would this democratized science look like?
Imagine online platforms where people from all over the world can access data, run simulations, test ideas, all with the help of AI.
It's like everyone has their own virtual lab.
Yeah, kind of.
So it's not just limited to universities and big institutions anymore.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe the next big discovery will come from someone who's not even a scientist.
I wouldn't be surprised. It's about empowering people to be curious and contribute to our understanding of the world.
That's a really cool idea. So AI is not just making science faster, it's making it more inclusive.
That's right. It's a new era of exploration where anyone can be a part of the scientific process.
This is incredible.
It really is. And I think we're just at the beginning of what's possible.
That's a great thought. So, for our listeners, if you've made it this far, we hope you're feeling that sense of awe and wonder that we are.
Absolutely.
We've seen how AI is pushing the boundaries of what we know, changing fields like medicine and energy, and even making us think differently about what it means to be creative.
And remember, this is just the start. The next chapter is being written right now.
So stay curious, stay engaged, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to make the next big discovery.
Maybe. That's what's so exciting about all this.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible journey.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Until next time, stay curious.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into AI hallucinations in science. It's been quite a journey, from AI designing new tools and medicines to the potential for anyone in the world to contribute to scientific breakthroughs.
Yeah, it really feels like we're on the edge of a whole new era.
It does, doesn't it?
So for this last part, I thought we could shift gears a bit and talk about something we haven't really dug into yet.
Okay, what's that?
The impact of all this on how we think about human creativity and, innovation in general.
Oh, that's interesting. We've kind of danced around this idea of AI being creative,
Yeah.
but we haven't really gone deep on it. I mean, for so long, we've seen creativity as this, uniquely human thing.
Right. What sets us apart?
And now we have AI composing music, making art.
Designing proteins.
It's like, are we having an existential crisis here?
Well, it definitely challenges our assumptions. We thought only humans could be truly creative.
Right.
And now we see AI doing things we never thought possible. It makes you wonder, what does creativity even mean anymore?
Yeah, I can imagine artists and musicians are either really inspired by this or totally freaked out.
Probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this a threat to human creativity, or is there a more positive way to look at it?
I think it's an opportunity.
Okay.
What if, instead of seeing AI as competition, we see it as a way to understand our own creative processes better?
Interesting.
Like by studying how AI generates creative output, maybe we can learn something about how our own minds work.
So AI becomes this tool for exploring the human brain.
Exactly. It could help us unlock even more human potential.
Okay, yeah.
Think about the implications for fields like psychology, neuroscience,
Yeah.
education. Maybe AI could help us create personalized learning experiences, helping people tap into their own creativity. It's like AI becomes a creativity coach for all of humanity. That's a cool idea. But, all this talk about hallucinations and creativity, it makes me wonder, at what point do we stop calling it a hallucination
Right.
and just say, okay, this is a form of intelligence? I mean, these aren't just random glitches anymore. They're leading to real breakthroughs.
That's the big question, isn't it?
Uh,
What is intelligence? Can machines really be creative?
Yeah.
These are questions philosophers have been debating for centuries. And now AI is making us confront them in a whole new way.
It's like AI is shaking up not just science, but our whole understanding of what it means to be human.
I think you're right.
It's pretty wild. So I feel like we started this deep dive focusing on the how of AI hallucinations.
Right.
And now we're really getting into the why.
The bigger picture.
What does all of this mean for us, for humanity?
It's a journey,
Yeah.
and we're all on it together. Scientists, artists, philosophers, everyone's trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
And I think the most important thing is to approach it with curiosity, not fear.
that's a great point. And, to our listener, if you've been with us this whole time, we hope you're walking away with that same sense of awe and wonder.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen how these AI hallucinations are changing the world, from medicine to energy, even challenging how we think about creativity itself.
And this is just the beginning, really. There's so much more to come.
So stay curious, stay engaged, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one making the next big discovery.
That's the beauty of it. Anyone can be a part of this.
Well, thanks for joining us on this incredible journey. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. And until next time, stay curious, everyone.